Hoofta, guys. Happy summer to you. It is summertime. My peaches are ripe. Oh, nice and firm and look delicious. They are delicious. It's hot, you know. It's been, you know, in the high 90s, or it's close to 200 and 200. close to 100 degrees for the last couple of weeks. And well, it's time to cut and mow some more hay. It's what I do. It seems like that's all I do in the summertime. So I wasn't going to cut and mow hay, but my neighbor asked me if I could go ahead and cut his field early. So we're going to do that. And while I'm at it, I'll probably go cut the field that I planted this spring. I'll take a look at that before I cut it. See if the oats are ready. There's a little bit of oats sprinkled in there, and if the oats are ready, we'll cut those. But that means I got to move stuff out of the way. I've been working on the stack wagon. Not exactly successfully, but not exactly a failure. And of course, it's right in front of my drum mower. So we'll move the stack wagon, hook up to the drum mower, and we will mow some hay. You know, in the shade, it's kind of pleasant. Where am I going to park this stack wagon? Oh. I need about 100 acres, so then I can take my 10 acres just to park the equipment on. Oh, that'd be pretty nice. one of the dangers of opening up these fields, driving along these dirt driveways, is my neighbor is he likes to maintain his driveway, which means he kicks up a lot of rocks, and those rocks, a lot of times you get kicked over into the field. At which point, my drum mower hits a rock and starts making a horrible noise. So there's some advantages to this too, because whenever this happens, then it's just like having the hood up on a classic car. Everybody stops, all the neighbors come over to see what's going on. So here's what's happening right now. My drum mower is going to be loud and unbalanced because not only did I hit a rock, but there's a rock stuck inside the drum. And so that's just going to bounce and clatter and roll around in there until such point that that rock disintegrates enough to free itself, and everything will go back to quiet, peaceful, well, loud, obnoxious, machinery sounding noises, but without that rock bouncing around. So you'll hear this here in just a minute when we fire this back up. Just listen, and you can hear the difference in this thing operating from what it was. And throughout the rest of this video, as this drum mower is running, you'll hear a difference in the sound as it basically cleans itself out and balances itself out. It's not a big deal. These things are pretty tough, but there's a reason I wear headphones. Well, got the field mowed. Time to go in, have some ice cream, spend some time with the family, go to bed, get ready for work, do it all over again. But I think before any of that, I deserve even better than ice cream, a little bit of a victory peach. That's good. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next video. I got a lot of work to do on this. It's just the way it goes. You know, it's hot, muggy, still nice to be outside. Go outside and do something. Catch you later. This is the field I planted this spring with alfalfa and oats, and well, to say the least, the results aren't fantastic. I've got way more weeds than alfalfa, but there is some alfalfa growing up down in here. So here's the deal. These oats are, yep, you can see them. They're in the milk stage. Some of them are starting to dry. Some of them are kind of, you squeeze a little bit of milk out of them. They're probably 3, 4, 5 days early, so this is the time I have to mow. And so some of this is actually looks really good. Wow, those mosquitoes are, yeah, so a little bit more milk would be better coming out of the oats, but it'll still make pretty good hay. I have a little bit of alfalfa that's going to seed. We have to get it trimmed. This spot that I had to scrape was a high spot. Scraped it down. We'll have to come back and replant in a few spots. But we're still going to win. I'm going to mow this field and bale it up, and we'll go from there. It might require, well, we might have to re-disc this entire field, maybe even spray everything and kill all the weeds and all the grass to get the alfalfa to give it a fighting chance. But we'll see how this goes. This actually might make a difference. So we're going to mow it down, let the alfalfa hopefully come back. It'll have a good 6 weeks before I mow it again, and that'll be the final cutting, and a few weeks after that to recover. Yeah, let's get it done. It's going to be fun mowing around the berms that we put in there, but that is what it is. Over time, those berms will get to be where they're mowable themselves. We'll get there. Wow, the mosquitoes though. Mosquitoes are liking this field a lot too. Let's get this done, right? It's hot out. Let's bounce around on this tractor for a couple of hours. It'll be great. Oh, another mosquito. Well, we got the grass knocked down. There's not a lot of tonnage in this field. It's pretty variable. Some spots look pretty good, some spots are pretty light. It's going to take a little while for this field to start producing again. I'm going to have to start fertilizing and making improvements. But we're better than we were, in my opinion, because we can now water almost this entire field. So that's most of the battle out west. Most of the battle out west is getting the water where it needs to be. My only other option would be to put in a pump and pressurized irrigation. But let's put this, put my drum mower away. Maybe go hook onto the hay rake. Get ready to rake some hay tomorrow. Yeah, let's get this thing put up. Alright, so we mowed this field 2 days ago. It's not particularly dense or heavy. Flip it over. A little bit too shattery already. I'm going to go ahead and rake this up. I might even pull my baler out if I can squeeze enough time and try to bale this field up tonight. Get this one done. It's a little bit dry. But that's what you get in July or August. It doesn't take much time at all for this to cure and be ready to put into a bale. Other parts of the field are pretty nice, and 5 or 6 rows of 25 to 30 feet. You'll end up making a pretty reasonable windrow. So you take what you can get. Yeah. I gotta admit, I generally don't mind it, but right now there's a lot of those angry butterflies on this tractor. They've got a nest down in there. Let's say hello to my little friend. There we go. Sorry guys, you gotta go. Oh, we'll squirt some down in there too, just to make sure. So how'd we do? If I counted correctly, we got 27 bales. Yeah, at 30 to 35 pounds each. So what is that? We'll just say 900. Well, that's only 1,000 pounds, if that. Half a ton. But it's better than not half a ton. We probably have another 3 or 4 bales that, when I re-rake it, that we'll be able to salvage out of that field. So call it 1,000 pounds. So what am I saying here? Saying I'm walking back to the house, hopping in the Dodge. Wind came up, it's not as hot. I'm gonna go grab those bales of hay and get them off the field, and I'd like to get that field cleaned up. I might even get it totally cleaned up today. That'd be awesome. Day 4 of this journey of awesome sauce, which is just, well, it's day 4 of my second cutting of hay this year. Let's go out to that field I planted. Actually, the first cutting on that field that I planted this year. This is the cleanup cutting. I'm not going to try to even cover this hay up. I'll put it out. It's over by the animals. You just kind of throw it over to them over the rest of the summer. Give them a chance to nose through and pull the parts out that they want while they still have some pasture to eat. But this talking isn't getting it done. What is that, a 3-ish acre field? I got to go rake that field, bale it tonight, unload my Dodge over there, and load it back up probably a couple of times to get that field cleaned off and ready to irrigate again. Let's get work. Let's get to work. And listen to that hum. Man, that's a good sound. All right, we got the field raked up. I think, let's see, this is probably the wettest windrow. It's not quite ready to bale. That's just too floppy and loose right there. That's not quite ready. It'll probably be ready with the temperatures we have. It'll probably be ready in the morning on that row. But the other rows, that's baleable right there. So that end row, it's right by the ditch. Hey bud, end row is right by the ditch, and it was slightly shaded. And the greenest. There's probably enough in there to make a few bales. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to make a couple of rounds around the outside of this field to clean it up a little bit. That row's pretty sparse. Then I want to start baling, and we'll bale on the west end and work our way east. You give that stuff on the east another hour to dry. I mean, is that going to be enough difference to make a difference? Maybe. Might just be enough.
Papa, I'm going to go back.
All right, bud. Love you. Thanks for hanging out with me.